Today I'm going to be using this crimped material to build kind of fireplace, fire pit grills. I wanted this to be 1 inch woven, a 1/4 inch woven round rod, about this same pattern, about 1 inch square. But the place that I bought it from misunderstood me and ordered the wrong stuff. However, I can make some lighter weight stuff for putting pans on and boiling water, that kind of stuff over a fire. So today that's what I'm going to be building. Normally, I wouldn't take the time to set up a jig just for one of these things. Where I'm making 4 of them today, I thought I'd go ahead and do that. Basically, I have 3 edges, this one, and this one, that are all squared up to each other. These pieces are all the same length, so all I have to do is fit in my piece here, the sides, and just double check it. I'll probably just put a mark there, but this is square, 29 inches corner to corner. I believe this is 16 by 24 roughly. So anyway, one thing I want to show you, instead of cutting these angles at a 45 degree, here, let me turn on my light. Instead of cutting these angles at a 45 degree, you'll notice that I cut them differently. I do that for 2 reasons. First of all, my chop saw cuts pretty accurately when it's straight. When I'm cutting at a 45 degree angle, sometimes this blade, and this is actually a good blade, I buy specific blades, but this can flex a little bit. And the other problem is when I'm cutting at a 45 degree angle, I'm usually having to cut it up here instead of down here. And if I have a blade that is worn out down to, we'll say here, just watch that mark, you can see that I can't always cut things that are way up here. So that's another reason I don't cut 45 degree angles on this thing. I'll cut angles sometimes, but it's pretty rare. One other thing that this does for you, it gives you more area to weld, about probably twice as much as my guess, and so you end up getting a stronger weld out of it than you would otherwise. Just to show you what it looks like, what I ended up doing is I butt a piece up against it this way, make a mark, and then I cut straight in, and then there's a little bit of a curve on the inside of these angle irons, so I just cut straight down that edge right there until I meet it. And that honestly ends up being quicker than the 45s or or whatever anyway, because like if it's not accurate, then all of a sudden I have problems squaring up my material and everything. So this is the way I do this. I always contemplate, should I cut a 45 out of this, and I usually decide against it. It doesn't take too long to do this. So you'll notice that I have a big gap in there. I've cut them too tight in the past, so I prefer to leave a little gap if I have to. I can always fill it with weld. You can see compared to my finger, it's really not that big. It's a little less than 1/8 of an inch, maybe like 3/32. It's snowing outside, that's why I have my garage closed, but you can see these actually came out pretty square. I'll probably grind the outside edges and clean them up a little bit. The inside I'm not worried about at all. The outside is what's going to be seen on these. But you can see how square they came out in relation to each other and everything with this jig, so works out pretty well. As long as you tack it in enough places so it doesn't move when you really start welding it. Okay, I wanted to take a moment and show you what I'm doing here. I'm welding down every single piece of this crimped pattern, whatever you want to call it. And what I do, oh, it looks like I need to redo that one. What I do is I start the weld off onto this material somewhere, because that's what you really need to heat up. And then I push the puddle toward this, and as soon as it catches it, I let go. I'll have to double check all of these, because that one that I just showed you just a second ago and this one here, I had a little undercut on them, I guess. So I was thinking, after I test this, after these are all welded on, I'm going to see how sturdy this is to see if I need a center brace. I'm doubting I will, but yeah, on this small of a grate I don't think I need a center brace. Anyway, I'm going to keep going on this. Give you a quick walk around. Sorry about the noise in the background. It's just a heater in for the garage. It's cold outside. So this sits 9 inches off the ground in its current state. If you wanted to, you could turn these in and get it closer to about a foot. What I ended up doing is, because of the way I built this, I had to put these on the outside, and so I needed a stopper on the outside. So I just welded these tabs on. I was in the process of building the jig when I ran out of memory on my card, and so you didn't get to see how I did that. But basically I welded something here to prevent this leg from going anywhere, welded it here to prevent this leg from going anywhere, and then welded an upright that centered this so it was basically level. When I welded on these tabs, I ran these down until they hit the legs and put a few tacks on it and then welded it up. I'm going to paint them up except for the grill portion of it. I'm just going to throw some high temp heat paint on it, and that's it. I mean, I have 4 of them built. One's from my family, one's for my parents, and then I have 2 that are going to be given as gifts at our family Christmas party. And there isn't much to it. They don't weigh a whole lot because of this grill. It's, again, lighter than I wanted it originally, but it's fine for this purpose and can take quite a bit of weight. It's nice. So okay, these are all painted up, so this is the final review on how they were constructed. You saw me create the box frame, and then I cut out and welded in the grid. And then what I did is I cut out on my CNC. You could have just used some 3/4 inch flat plate or something. I used 1/4 inch plate, and I cut out these 3/4 inch by about, if I think they're 11.5 inches, if I remember correctly, long. And I ended up putting a 5/16 inch bolt through here, welding it on the other side, and stuck a washer in between this leg and this, just so it didn't scrape this paint off. And I put a 1/4 inch round rod in between the 2 ends, and then in order to stop it, I just put this 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch plate them on. Overall, very simple project. I spent more time today probably running to the store getting paint and bolts and some food than I did building them. It was a fun project though. There's 4 of them. I'm actually happy they came out very consistent. You can see that they're all the same size, and if we look right down, they're all the same height. So they came out pretty well. I'm happy with them.